Hey my creative friends, let's do some flower drawing practice today. I want to share with you one of the lessons from my latest Skillshare class. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll leave some links below in case you're interested in taking the class. Let's talk a little bit about flowers and the shapes of flowers. I have this really pretty bouquet. It has a lot of different kinds of flowers in it. Different colors, different shapes. So I'm going to clip a few and we'll talk about it. Why are you looking at me? Let's start with this little daisy-like flower. If we turn it on its side, we're going to see one shape, and if we look at it from the top, we'll see another. So let's just kind of sketch that out a little bit. So what we see here is a circle and another circle. So we can just draw a little circle and draw a second circle around it. I'm drawing lightly, but let me draw a little bit firmer so you can see it. And then in the center even, this has another even tinier circle. And it's got some little petals around the center. If you see the detail there, it has these very small petals here. Isn't that pretty? And it has a lot of petals that are part of this outer circle. So all we would just do is just draw some petal shapes in there and leave a little space in between them. I'm drawing very loosely. We're not trying to be botanical illustrators. We're just playing with our watercolor. Draw some in between. Just little rounded shapes. They do have a little bit of a point, so if you want to, you could point it. But we're just trying to get an idea of how this flower would look if we're looking straight down at it. This is just a starting point. This is not like a finished drawing or anything like that, because we're not even going to be drawing, we're going to be painting, but this is just to give us an idea. So that's pretty cool. That's a little cute little flower. You could put some little lines in here to sort of indicate the way the petals sort of fold inward. Adds a little depth. But basically you're going to take the small circle and a bigger circle and fill it in with your details. That's from the top. So from the side, it's still a circle shape, but we only see half of that circle. So we would do something like a line here, just to get the shape, the general shape, and a cup. So it's basically part of a circle, but it's not. And then this has like the little, see this wavy area. So we might have this wavy area inside there, and then the petals go out toward the top and radiate from the center. So you could sort of visualize your petals that way. And we do see lots of lines on this one when it's turned this way. So there's sort of the general shape, and then we also have the stem, which we couldn't even see on this part, but this one we do, we see the stem. So just for the sake of helping you see my little sketch a little bit better, I might make that smaller. Again, very rough sketch just to get an idea of the shapes of some different kinds of flowers. And if you turned it at an angle, you would still have the circular shape, but it would be look more like an oval. So it's still the same shape, but it looks different depending on which way we turn it. So the petals would be shorter on one side and longer on the other. Or they would appear that way. They're actually still the same length, aren't they? It's all about how you see it. And then we would actually also, this would be more rounded on this side and flatter. Still rounded, but flatter on that area. and we would see the little petals here, but we wouldn't see them on the other side because they would be covered up by the center. So that's that flower, 3 different ways. Now I love these tiny flowers, and we can turn them all different ways and see how it has. You can see lots of stems this way. You can still see the stems, they make V shapes. So let's do that sort of. Let's look at this one also. So I'm just going to draw little circles for these flowers and scribble inside them, just little scribbly circles here and there. I'm not trying to make a perfectly accurate representation, it's just the idea. And they sort of connect in these V shapes, and then that may go down a little bit. So you could just add the scribbly sort of circles. So if you're doing this with watercolor, I mean, you might just put a dot, right? So that's how they kind of look from the top. From the side, we're still going to have the scribbly shapes, but they're more oval shaped. See the little bottom area here? They have that also that sort of V shape on the bottom. So I'll just draw a few oval shapes with like the V shape at the bottom. And then the stems, it's not good. The stems would be small and straight down, sort of like that. So for this flower, I think it's a carnation. I'm not really concerned about the names of them. I thought it was cool. It has this beautiful little bud, and then it has these very wavy petals, and they're all bunched up. It's still a circle shape, and the petals sort of circle in, but there's no distinctive circle in the middle as in with our first flower. So let's just try. And then what I would just do is draw a wavy circle, and then more wavy circles within. Notice some of the petals pull away a little bit, so you might want to do like some little folded away petals like that, just to add some interest. So that would be from the top, and then this from the top is a point. And let me turn it so I can see it from the top. It's basically a point and a circle, this little bud is, and it has these lines that radiate from the point down to the bottom. It's sort of a curved way. So that's really all you can see if you look straight down on this little bud. Now if we turn it to the side, I'll start with the bud here. It's going to be this, I mean, I love this shape actually. It's sort of this coney shape, and it has these V-shaped leaves here, which is cool. So we'll put that kind of on pointed there, pointed and rounded. So there's our bud, loosely sketched, and then we have a stem, and it actually has like a little circle there, and the stem goes down from there. And then this one from the side is still a circle, but it's flatter. So it's a half circle. It's quite flat, but it's ripply on the top. And we're going to see those petals going down and overlapping one another. Again, loose, very loose sketching. And then it has this sort of really big fluted bottom. And it has the same, of course it was a bud at one time, right? So it has the same V-shaped little points there. And it has a second row. So this is just observing and drawing so that we can understand more about flowers. But we're kind of going to let it go once we get started and not worry about it. But I just wanted to talk about the shapes a little bit so we would have an understanding of the shapes of flowers. Now this one is even more complex. It still has the circle in the center, And it has more of a star shape. So I guess we can go ahead and do that really quick. Again, I'm trying to make this really quick, loose sketch. So here, the star shapes do sort of have a circular outside area. So if we do this, we can see they were kind of, and these are big petals compared to our other, and they're pointed. So point, and they overlap, and they go in every direction. And some are behind the others. So that's, and it has little pistol-y things in here. And then it has also this interesting stem that curves out and has these long elongated little buds on it. So we could do something like that. Very simplified shape, very abstracted. Just the idea of this flower. We don't see the stem from the top, right? We can't really see the stem, so we wouldn't worry about that. Okay, let's turn it on its side. We have that trumpet shape again, but with the pointy edges, and we can see the other side. So it's sort of complex to draw, but you get the idea. And it goes down really long again. And within that are these lovely little lines. And then it turns into the stem. And it has little leaves and buds. And for the stem, it has these overlapping. Wow, these are really pretty. Really pretty shapes. Mine aren't really doing this justice, but look at this. You can practice this way by tracing. So more like that, but with a lot of depth. Okay, so those are some flower shapes that we can learn a little bit more about shaping flowers. Now we're going to kind of just let go of it and go have some fun with our painting.